It's dark. Your life.
Hey, thank you. I have a wonderful photographer.
It didn't count down 3, 2, 1.
Thank you, Lori Vinco, for being our photographer. Hi, everybody. This is Bill from AT Makers, and we are live on the AT Makers group. So I'm with Mary Huston, old friend of ours, very old friend of ours, from our early Lesson Picks days. And we're in Minot, North Dakota in February. And we can talk about how stupid that is, but it was gorgeous today.
Why not? Why not, right?
Why not? Well, last week was why not. Last week we were at -40 here. This week we're at 40, which is a great improvement.
It's absolutely wonderful.
It is 76 and sunny in Florida. But we are here because Junior over there may come here for grad school, which would be super cool. And we came up for a tour. It was a great tour. But at the end of the tour, we ended up in Mary's lab, and I thought AT Makers folks would want to see this. So, Mary, why don't you tell us what you're doing?
Okay. So we are printing 3D larynxes. I had a student a couple of years ago that used 3D larynxes as her thesis study to see whether or not students learn and retain information better. And I've continued that study with my undergrad students now. So we print all the 3D larynxes and cartilages, thyroid, cricoid, and all the retinoids, and then the muscles. And the students have to assemble them and label them, and then video themselves explaining how they work, and really get some hands-on learning with the structures. So by the time they're done, they will know all of the muscles, how they work, how the vocal folds come together or separate, and all of that cool stuff.
Look how cool.
So if you look, you kind of have to feel them to know just how cool this is. You can actually like move them, and they go back in place because they're held together with flexible filament, taking the place of the muscle. So let's talk a little bit about how you do it.
Okay.
We have geeks. I don't know if you know this. We have geeks on our channel.
Amazing.
Amazing.
I would never have guessed that.
I know, right? And Mary's not one. Mary is a speech geek, but not like a traditional geek, right?
No, I'm only a geek wannabe.
Gotcha. But you're doing very, very well in that role. So
this is one that I made. I put together, rather.
So this is a Prusa Mark III Prusa 3D printer from Prusa in Germany. They shipped it over to you in pieces.
Yep, I got a handy dandy box about so big, and the directions online, and we put it together.
And it wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't.
Did you make any mistakes?
No.
Look at that. So very good instructions. I've heard that their instructions are great. I haven't built one yet.
Step by step.
And this is the one that we recommend. When somebody says, what 3D printer should I buy? We say the Prusa Mark III.
Absolutely.
It's bulletproof. It's easy to use. The slicer works great. I mean, it just works.
Yeah, and one of the benefits to building it is that when it needs to be repaired, because all things mechanical break at some point, or the nozzle needs to be replaced, or there's a jam, or we were just talking about how I need to oil the ball bearings. Then I know how to do that and put it back together. I don't have to ship it out somewhere or have somebody come. I can take care of the repairs, which is nice.
That's cool.
Pretty cool. And so this is actually an open PLA printer that's currently printing PLA. It can do PVA and some other things too. This is PETG, the shiny ones, and that is too?
Yep.
Really? So I do want to get a good picture of the close-up. Can I steal this for a second? All right, so I want you guys to see. This looks fantastic. I mean, the quality on this is kind of crazy. You can see the voxels in the design, but you really can't see any of the layering here. It's really good, and it's PETG. That's kind of surprising that it's that good. But they turned out fantastic. This still has the support structures in place. It prints on this pop-off plate here that makes it nice and easy to remove. And you've got a clear one here. Now you've got these. This is the one that made me come over with you, which I really like this one. This is it's yellow with red, and Allie, who's over there, is taking one home to assemble and see if she remembers her anatomy class, right? And then you print the soft stuff here is Ninja Flex.
Yep.
So it is TPU from a company called Ninja Tech. There you go.
Ninja Tech.
And so you have your little library of filament, right? You've got your Prusaments.
My PETG Prusament
Uh-huh.
here. I have PLA here.
Yep.
I have some icky stuff we don't ever use down there. That was bought for the old printer that we didn't like.
Gotcha.
And then I have in the box is the MMU that's going
That's
to
your
be
next.
assembled.
That's your next toy. Will be the MMU. That's
Absolutely.
not a memory management unit, but the multimedia unit. It lets you change filaments. It will automatically change the filaments.
I am going to be printing brains.
You're going to print brains.
Print brains.
So here you go.
That way you can talk to Mary back.
So the next thing you want to do is print brains, and you want to use water-soluble filament for support structures.
Yep, because the brains have ventricles and spaces inside, and I can't print over the space because we need supports. So,
Right.
But with water-soluble filament, I can have the supports be the water-soluble, and then have them go away and still have space in the brains once they're printed.
So I think this is
That's
awesome.
cool.
And now,
That's
so
cool.
let's talk money for a second. $1,000 a piece.
Less.
About $800 a piece. About $800 a piece. Probably about $400 in filament. Ballpark.
Probably close to that.
And then probably another $100 in stuff. So for under $2,000, for
Yeah.
about $2,000, you've made a lab here that can teach students, CSD grad students, a much better, much higher fidelity model of the structure of the larynx.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't this wasn't like a big project where you did it with another unit. There were no engineering students in here. You just learned what you needed to do and printed it out.
Right, and actually with this printer here, I had a student that was, had been an undergrad student of mine who was coming for her graduate program. And she built this one over the course of a month, not quite a month, it didn't take her a month, but in between her undergrad and grad year. And then she donated it to us. Because she was going to use it for her thesis. And so I had the benefit of her having built this one on her own when I built this one. And so it just worked slick. And it was just her and I and the Prusa website.
That's awesome. That's
That's
awesome.
super cool.
All right. Anything anything you want to add? Anything I missed? I think we're kind of doing good. Your students like it?
Yes, they love having the 3D models.
Instead of paper.
Yeah, so the unit is our phonation unit, and the students have to, and for 20 plus years, they've had to build a model larynx. In the past, until the last, probably 3 years now, 3 years, they've had to print out the model and either do it on paper or trace it onto craft foam and build it that way. And it's tedious and gets a little frustrating, and everybody complains about,
You're not trying to teach them how to do crafts.
right,
Right.
hot glue burns, and
Right.
it turns into craft with, arts and crafts with Miss Huston instead of actually building a larynx.
Right.
So for the purpose of what we're doing now, we're doing a little bit of a research project, but in the end, every one of my students will have a 3D printed larynx.
That's awesome. Now you presented this at ASHA 2 years ago.
Yep.
And
Right.
so there's a paper out there somewhere where people can eventually read, or this is your dissertation.
Nope, not my dissertation. It's her thesis.
Her thesis.
And she did present it at ASHA, and we will be, because I'm continuing the research,
Mhm.
there will be an article at some point.
That's awesome.
But we're in the process still, so.
That's cool. What does your
Super
department
cool.
think about this?
They
We gotta love
like
the
it.
fact that it's a bargain, right? I mean,
Yeah.
this is a huge bargain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They like it. I wrote a grant, which is how we were able to buy this printer and
Pile
a
of
lot of the filament and the MMU and whatnot. But they like it. They think it's cool. They don't understand it for
Right.
the most part. but they all love the 3D models.
They love what comes out of it. They don't know how it works.
Right.
So it goes into this room, it comes out like this, and that's awesome.
Yep. And or they tell Mary what they want, and that's it.
There you go. Hey, I know that feeling. I know that feeling very well.
Right.
There you go. All right. Well, we've probably gone long enough. This is awesome, and thank you for sharing and being willing to go online with us.
He stepped aside, so I was going to show on the table,
Oh,
but
here.
it's all good.
Show on the table. Here's
Yeah.
So here's the muscles. All right, so they're all printed with Ninja Flex, and then cricoid, and thyroid.
Yeah.
I know those two, and these are ones that I don't know. These are the little bitty ones.
Retinoids.
Retinoids.
Yep.
So and they're in here, and they're identical but mirrored.
Yes.
Okay. And these were, you didn't design you found a model and then you added the tabs and you adjusted it to fit your needs.
Right. The student found the STL of the intact larynx, and then she broke that apart, tweaked it a little bit to make sure that we had the ratio for size accurate, and then
Added all these little.
we needed to have a way to attach the muscles. So she created the little attachment pieces so that we could do that. And then she created the muscles herself, drew them, and how they should attach and incorporated all of that. And I have benefited greatly from her.
Awesome.
So her name's Sarah Boyle. She's fabulous.
Excellent. Yeah, we need to give her credit.
Yep.
There you go.
That's right.
And she's stuck in Canada.
She is stuck in Canada.
Okay. Well, you're only about 50 miles. So. All right. It is very strange to be here in February, because why would we come here in February? All right.
It's
we
beautiful.
Are, enough of it being cold. We are good, and thank you for having us again.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Bye.